Welcome back, thank you for tuning to our channel Reddit Cheating Stories. Let's dive in. The night was calm, until it wasn't. Jason sat on the couch, his arm draped lazily over Lena's shoulders as they watched an old movie, the kind she loved and he pretended to enjoy just to see her smile. The scent of buttered popcorn still lingered in the air, mixing with the soft lavender of the candle she had lit. It was the kind of night he cherished, quiet, warm, filled with the kind of love he never thought he deserved. Then came the pounding at the door. Lena flinched, her brows knitting together. "Are you expecting someone?" Jason wasn't. He already had a bad feeling. Before he could answer, the door swung open with a force that rattled the walls. And there he was. Ryan. Jason's older brother stood in the doorway, breath heavy, his sharp blue eyes scanning the room before locking onto Lena. His suit, usually pristine, was slightly wrinkled, as if he had been moving too fast to care. "Lena," Ryan said, his voice dripping with authority, "you need to listen to me." Lena sat up straighter, confused. "Ryan. What?" "You need to leave him. Tonight." Jason felt a cold weight settle in his chest, but he kept his voice even. "Ryan, what the hell are you doing?" Ryan didn't even glance at him. He took a step closer, speaking only to Lena. "I'm serious. You have no idea what kind of man you're with. He's weak. A failure. If you have any sense, you'll walk out that door right now." Silence. Jason could hear the clock ticking on the wall. He could hear the rain start to patter against the window. Lena slowly turned to Jason, searching his face for answers. He had spent years ignoring Ryan's taunts, pretending they didn't sting, convincing himself he didn't care. But tonight, in front of Lena, the one person who made him feel whole, something inside him cracked. "Ryan," Jason said, standing up. "You don't get to do this." Ryan finally looked at him, eyes gleaming with something between amusement and pity. "I already did." But what Ryan didn't know, what he had never understood, was that Jason wasn't the same kid he used to push around. And tonight, for the first time, Jason was going to make him see that. Jason's hands clenched at his sides, but he refused to let Ryan see the anger boiling beneath his skin. He had spent a lifetime swallowing his pride whenever his older brother mocked him, but this was different. This wasn't just about him anymore, this was about Lena, about the life he had built away from Ryan's shadow. Lena stood up beside him, her voice sharp. "Ryan, what's wrong with you? You barge in here, insult Jason, and expect me to just leave." Ryan let out a dry chuckle. "I'm doing you a favor, Lena. You don't see it now, but you will." Jason took a step forward, his jaw tight. "You don't get to decide that for her." Ryan shook his head, exhaling like he was dealing with a child. "Jason, let's not pretend. You're not cut out for this. Relationships. Life. You've always been the weak one, and deep down, you know it." A familiar ache settled in Jason's chest. The words were nothing new. Ryan had been saying them for as long as Jason could remember. But tonight, they didn't feel like an insult. They felt like a challenge. "Get out." Ryan blinked. "Excuse me." Jason's voice didn't waver. "I said, get out." Ryan smirked, shaking his head as if Jason had just told a joke. "You don't have the spine to." Jason didn't wait. He grabbed Ryan by the arm, shoving him toward the door with more force than he ever thought himself capable of. Ryan stumbled, caught off guard. Jason's voice was steady, controlled. "You don't get to come into my home and talk to Lena like that. You don't get to tear me down just because it makes you feel powerful." Ryan's eyes darkened. "You think this is over?" "I know it is." For the first time, Jason saw something flicker across Ryan's face, something dangerously close to doubt. Ryan adjusted his suit jacket, straightening himself. "You're going to regret this." And with that, he turned and walked out, slamming the door behind him. Silence filled the room. Lena let out a slow breath, her fingers still curled into fists. What the hell just happened? Jason's hands were shaking. Not from fear. From something else. He turned to Lena, a bitter smile playing on his lips. "That," he said, "was 25 years of my life." Lena stepped closer, wrapping her arms around him. He doesn't get to define you, Jason. Jason closed his eyes, resting his forehead against hers. I know. And for the first time in his life, he actually believed it. Jason lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling. The apartment was quiet, except for the rhythmic sound of Lena's breathing beside him. Her presence was comforting, grounding. But his mind wouldn't stop racing. Ryan's words echoed in his head. You're not cut out for this. You've always been the weak one. It should have been easy to brush off, he had heard it all before, but tonight felt different. Ryan didn't just want to humiliate him. He wanted to destroy him. Jason carefully slipped out of bed, careful not to wake Lena, and walked to the kitchen. He poured himself a glass of water, gripping the counter as he tried to steady his thoughts. Then his phone buzzed. A single message from an unknown number. Check your email. You'll want to see this. Jason frowned, his stomach tightening with unease. He opened his laptop and logged into his email. At the top of his inbox was a message with no subject. The sender was anonymous. He hesitated before clicking. A single video file was attached. Jason's fingers trembled as he hit play. The video opened on security footage, grainy, black and white. The timestamp in the corner showed it was from 2 nights ago. A man stood in an office, facing an older, stern-looking businessman behind a desk. Jason's breath caught when he realized who it was. Ryan. Jason leaned in closer as the sound crackled. You can't do this, Ryan's voice was sharp, desperate. The businessman sighed. Your numbers have been slipping for months. We gave you chances. It's over. I just need more time. Time won't fix this. Clean out your office by morning. Ryan's face twisted, a mixture of rage and humiliation flickering across it. He slammed his hands on the desk. You'll regret this. The video cut off. Jason exhaled, staring at the screen. His brother, the man who always acted superior, who called Jason weak, had been fired. And now it made sense. Ryan hadn't come to his apartment out of concern for Lena. He wasn't there just to insult Jason. He was unraveling. And he wanted to take Jason down with him. Jason closed the laptop, his jaw tightening. If Ryan wanted a war, he was about to get one. Jason sat in the dim glow of his laptop screen, staring at the frozen image of Ryan's defeated expression. His whole life, Ryan had been untouchable, always on top, always in control. But now, Jason saw something different. Vulnerability. Fear. For a moment, he almost felt sorry for his brother. Almost. A hand brushed his shoulder, making him flinch. He turned to see Lena, her sleepy eyes searching his face. Jason. What's wrong? He hesitated, then sighed. Ryan. He got fired. Lena's brows knitted together. Fired. When? Jason spun the laptop toward her and replayed the video. She sat beside him, watching in silence, her lips pressed into a thin line. When the footage ended, she exhaled. So that's why he showed up tonight. Jason nodded. I think he came here looking for someone to tear down. He couldn't control his job, so he tried to control me. It's what he's always done. Lena tilted her head. And where did you get this video? Jason hesitated. An unknown number sent it to me. Her frown deepened. That's weird. Jason agreed. Someone wanted him to see this. But who? And why? Before he could say more, his phone buzzed again. Another message. Your brother is hiding more than you think. This is just the beginning. A chill ran through Jason's spine. Lena read over his shoulder. Okay, that's officially creepy. Jason's jaw tightened. Whoever this is, they know something about Ryan. And they want me to know it too. Lena studied him for a moment before taking his hand. Are you okay? Jason let out a slow breath. I don't know. But I think it's time I stop letting Ryan dictate my life. If he wants to fight, I'm not backing down. Lena gave his hand a squeeze. Good. You deserve to stand up for yourself, Jason. Jason met her gaze, feeling something shift inside him. He had spent too many years avoiding confrontation, letting Ryan push him around. But now, the war had begun. And Jason wasn't going to lose. Jason barely slept that night. Every time he closed his eyes, Ryan's sneering face and the cryptic message from the unknown sender haunted him. He wasn't sure what disturbed him more. The fact that Ryan had lost everything or that someone out there wanted him to know about it. By morning, Jason had made up his mind. If Ryan thought he could manipulate and break him down like before, he was about to learn just how wrong he was. Lena stirred beside him, blinking sleepily. "You're up early." Jason ran a hand through his hair. "I couldn't sleep." She sat up, concern flashing in her eyes. "Are you still thinking about Ryan?" "Yeah," Jason admitted. "But I'm done letting him get to me. I need answers. And I know exactly where to start." Lena arched an eyebrow. "Where?" Jason grabbed his phone. "Ryan's office." Lena frowned. "Jason. I'm not going to cause trouble," he reassured her. "I just want to see if I can find out what's really going on. If Ryan's hiding something, I need to know." Lena sighed but nodded. "Okay. But you're not going alone." Jason didn't argue. He was starting to realize something: he wasn't in this fight by himself. Ryan's former office was in a sleek glass building downtown. Jason and Lena arrived just as employees were trickling in for the day, their chatter filling the lobby. Jason approached the front desk. "Hi, I'm here about Ryan Carter. He used to work here." The receptionist, a middle-aged woman with sharp eyes, pursed her lips. Used to being the key words. "He was escorted out 2 days ago." Jason exchanged a glance with Lena. "Do you know why?" The woman hesitated, then leaned in. "Between you and me. Embezzlement rumors. But nothing's been confirmed." Jason's blood ran cold. "Embezzlement." She shrugged. "He was under investigation. Then suddenly, he was fired. Make of that what you will." Jason thanked her and stepped away, his heart pounding. Lena's eyes were wide. "Jason, if Ryan was stealing from the company, that explains why someone's sending you those messages. They want you to know the truth." Jason clenched his fists. His whole life, Ryan had called him weak, him a failure. But Ryan had been the one lying, scheming, and stealing. The realization hit Jason like a lightning bolt. Ryan wasn't just a bully. He was a fraud. And now, Jason had the proof to bring him down. Jason's heart pounded as he and Lena walked out of the office building. The morning air was crisp, but his blood was boiling. Embezzlement. His brother had always been arrogant, but stealing from his own company. That was a new low. Lena pulled out her phone. "Should we try to find more about this? Maybe check online for news?" Jason nodded, but before she could start searching, his phone buzzed again. Another unknown message. "I told you, your brother is hiding more than you think. But this is bigger than just him. Be careful who you trust." Jason's grip tightened around his phone. His stomach twisted with unease. Lena read over his shoulder. "Okay, I officially don't like this. Someone's feeding you breadcrumbs, but why?" Jason exhaled sharply. "There's only one way to find out." He dialed Ryan's number. The phone rang once. Twice. Then. "What do you want?" Ryan's voice was low, irritated. Jason didn't waste time. "I know why you got fired, Ryan." Silence. Then, a quiet chuckle. "Oh, do you?" "Yeah. I know about the money. About the embezzlement investigation." Ryan's breath hitched. For the first time, Jason heard something in his brother's voice he had never heard before. Fear. "You have no idea what you're talking about," Ryan spat. "Then why did they fire you?" Jason pushed. "Why is someone sending me messages warning me that this is bigger than you?" More silence. Then, Ryan's voice dropped to a near whisper. "Jason, stop digging." Jason's pulse quickened. "Why? What are you so afraid of? You don't understand. You think this is just about me." It's not. There are people involved who don't want the truth coming out. Jason exchanged a worried glance with Lena. Ryan took a sharp breath. You need to leave this alone, little brother. Walk away. Before it's too late. The call went dead. Jason lowered his phone slowly. Lena grabbed his arm. Jason, he sounded scared. Jason clenched his jaw. Ryan never got scared. Not Ryan, the untouchable, the invincible older brother. Which meant whatever he was caught up in, it was dangerous. And Jason had just put himself right in the middle of it. Jason stared at his phone, his mind racing. Ryan, the same arrogant brother who always acted untouchable, was scared. That alone sent a chill through his spine. Lena touched his arm gently. Jason. I don't like this. If Ryan is afraid, that means whatever he's involved in is serious. Maybe even dangerous. Jason exhaled. I know. But that's exactly why I can't walk away now. Before Lena could respond, a loud screeching sound filled the air. They both turned just in time to see a black SUV speeding toward them. Jason barely had time to react. Lena, move. He grabbed her, pulling her back just as the SUV swerved onto the curb. The tires screeched, missing them by inches before the vehicle sped off down the street. Jason's heart pounded. He stared after the SUV, his breathing heavy. Lena clutched his arm. Oh my God. Jason, they tried to hit us. Jason swallowed hard, his mind struggling to process what just happened. That wasn't an accident. It was a warning. His phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown sender. I told you to be careful. They know you're looking. Jason's stomach twisted. He looked at Lena, whose face was pale with fear. This wasn't just about Ryan's crimes anymore. Now, Jason was a target. Jason stood frozen on the sidewalk, the roar of the black SUV still ringing in his ears. His pulse pounded in his temples. They tried to run us down. Lena was shaking beside him, gripping his arm like a lifeline. Jason, this isn't just about Ryan anymore. These people are dangerous. Jason's phone buzzed again. Another anonymous message. That was just a warning. Stop now, or next time, you won't be so lucky. Jason clenched his jaw. His first instinct was fear, his stomach churned, his skin felt cold. But underneath that fear, something stronger was building. Anger. They thought they could scare him off. They thought he'd back down just because they tried to kill him. No. Jason wasn't the weak little brother anymore. He exhaled slowly, then turned to Lena. We need to find out exactly what Ryan got himself into. And we need to do it now. Lena's eyes searched his face. Jason, they just tried to kill us. Maybe we should go to the police. Jason shook his head. We don't have proof. A blurry SUV and some anonymous texts. They'll tell us to go home. His jaw tightened. If we want to stop this, we have to figure out who's pulling the strings. Lena hesitated, then sighed. Okay. What's the plan? Jason pulled out his phone and scrolled through his contacts. I'm going to see Ryan. Chapter 10, Face to Face with the Enemy. Ryan's apartment was in an upscale high-rise, the kind of place that screamed wealth and power. But when Jason and Lena arrived, something felt off. The security guard barely glanced at them as they walked in. The lobby was unusually empty. Even the front desk attendant was gone. Lena nudged Jason. Something isn't right. Jason swallowed his unease and pressed the elevator button. As the doors slid open, his phone vibrated again. Turn back now. Last warning. A shiver crawled up his spine, but he stepped into the elevator anyway. When they reached Ryan's floor, Jason's suspicions deepened. The hallway was dimly lit, and Ryan's door was slightly ajar. Lena whispered, Jason, what if? But Jason had already pushed the door open. The apartment was a wreck. Furniture overturned. Papers scattered. A shattered glass on the floor. And in the middle of it all, Ryan. Sitting on the couch, a cut on his cheek, his hands trembling as he lifted a drink to his lips. He barely looked up. I told you to stay out of this, Jason. Jason's stomach twisted. Who did this to you? Ryan let out a dry laugh. The same people who just tried to kill you. Jason took a slow step forward. Ryan, what did you do? Ryan looked up at him, something dark and broken in his eyes. I stole from the wrong people. Jason felt a cold weight settle in his chest. The wrong people, he echoed, his fists clenching. Who, Ryan? Who are they? Ryan exhaled shakily, running a hand through his disheveled hair. People who don't forgive. People who don't let you walk away. His voice was barely above a whisper. I thought I could outsmart them. I thought I could take what I needed and disappear. He let out a hollow laugh. I was wrong. Jason exchanged a glance with Lena. The attempted hit and run. The threats. The destroyed apartment. This wasn't just corporate fraud, this was something much darker. Ryan, tell me the truth, Jason pressed. How much did you take? Ryan swallowed hard. Enough for them to kill for it. Silence hung heavy in the room. Lena grabbed Jason's arm. Jason, we need to go. If they came after him, they'll come after us next. Ryan shook his head. You don't get it, do you? He leaned forward, his eyes burning with desperation. They don't just come after you. They erase you. A sharp knock echoed from the door. All three of them froze. Ryan's face went pale. It's them. Jason's heart pounded as he grabbed Lena's hand and backed toward the window. Ryan stood but looked paralyzed, sweat beading on his forehead. Another knock. This time, firmer. Then, silence. Jason held his breath. The doorknob turned. Who's at the door? Will Jason, Lena, and Ryan make it out alive? Or is it already too late? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next explosive episode. Drop a comment below. Will Jason save his brother or walk away? Should Ryan pay for his mistakes? What do you think is coming next? Let me know your thoughts, and stay tuned for the next thrilling part. See you soon.